he's testing Jesus. You know, how dare we test the Son of God? But Jesus just showed him, and showed him right into his own heart. And it says he was a lawyer. Well, I don't believe it's what we think a lawyer is nowadays, someone who goes to court and fights people's causes. This was an instructor of the law, because Jesus asked him, what is written in the law? What is your reading of it? And he knew the law. So he would have been probably of Jewish birth, and he would have known the law inside out. They are taught these things as a child, pages and pages and pages of information. They are taught and they remember it. You know, I can hardly remember what somebody told me yesterday, and I don't know if I could have ever managed this, but this was how they were brought up. So he already knew what Jesus said about, and what God said about how you could inherit eternal life. So he's testing God, he's testing Jesus. And then he gives them the right answer. You know, what's the point of asking someone a question that we already know what we're going to say about it? It's easy to do that, isn't it? It's easy to challenge people about things that we know it all already, so we're ready for them. And Jesus said, you answered rightly. He said, yes, you already know the answer. Do this, you'll live. And he still went on. He still had something else to say. Now, who's my neighbour? Always a question. But Jesus was very kind, and he just showed the story very kindly. And you know, I don't know what it must have been like for this guy to obviously he got jumped by the roadside and beat up, and everything was stolen from him. And then the priest came. When you think that of all people that will stop to show kindness, it would be the priest. The one who's leading the church, the one who's the intercessor for people. The one who would go in the days of the Jewish religion, he would have entered into the tabernacle, and he would have pleaded the cause with God for people. And here he's passing by a man in need. It just shows that you can wear the outfit, you can have the name badge, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your heart's right. And I was challenged by this. You know, sometimes I don't find it difficult to bring God's word to people, because He's given me the ability to do that. But I find it difficult to always be in line with my own ministry, because I'm human too. And I was challenged by this priest. And I just thought, you know, I can be up here and I can be teaching you. And I need my heart to be in line with what I'm teaching. Because here was a priest who was supposed to show kindness, and he just walked by as if the man wasn't there. How sad. And then a Levite came. Now a Levite was someone from the tribe of Levi, and a descendant from the tribe of Levi was a Levite. But a Levite would have been in the church sphere, would have been specifically an assistant to the priest, a helper of the priest. So this would have been the person who would have been getting alongside the priest and helping in God's house. And he also had no compassion and walked by. You know, that's what I mean about it's one thing to serve God in the sphere that God needs service, but it's another thing to serve Him with your heart in tune with His. And this guy, he just walked past. You know, here in our sphere, it's a different sphere of church from what we had back then. And in our church, it would be the guys who kindly gave out the envelopes, the ones who sought the music. We all help each other. Joe that was leading. I'm speaking. We're all serving God. And we might not be the priest, but we're a servant of the Most High God, and our heart should be to God's people. Our heart should be to the unbeliever. The first thing God wants from us is our heart. We will be nothing for Him if we haven't given Him our hearts. And then the Samaritan came by. And the Samaritan, he just overspilled himself to help this guy. You know, at the beginning of the story it said there was a man going down from Jerusalem to Jericho. Now I remember years ago my father telling me this story, and he said the first problem with that guy was he was going down. He was on the downward road. And you know, we sung a song today that it was encouraging us to look up. Joseph also read a passage, lift our eyes to the hills. You know, we need to be looking up unto Jesus. He is the author and finisher of our faith. If we're on the downward track, then we've taken our eye off Him, and we're looking for trouble. And guess what? This guy got it. But then the Samaritan came along, and he showed him the utmost of kindness, and even took him to the inn, and he spent overnight with him, because it says the next day he left. So he made sure that he was properly okay and taken care of. And then he promised the innkeeper that he would come again and refund whatever extra it cost, as long as he made sure this guy was okay. That's the heart of Christ. Do we have that heart? When we see someone in need, do we overspend ourselves to make sure they're okay? Because whoever it is, it's a sinner that Christ died for, and we should have a heart for them. So this guy, he saw that it was all right, and he brought him to the inn, and he got the innkeeper to look after him. And then he says to the guy who's asking all the questions, the smarty pants I call him, he says, so which of these would you say was the neighbour to him who fell among the thieves? And he said, he who showed mercy to him. And Jesus said, go and do likewise. It's exactly what he told him at the beginning. Do it. You know it. You understand it. Don't just sit there. Do something. You know, wherever God calls us in life, we need to get up and do it. Sometimes we just wish that God would open the sky and pour miracles on us. It doesn't work like that. God has given us the ability to do things for ourselves and for other people. He's given us a calling on our lives. Even a young girl is called to serve Him. And no matter what life brings, we need to focus on what God's called us to do. We need to focus on being a servant of the Most High God, and He'll bring it to pass. And in the way, He will bless us and bless us and bless us again. Both Joseph and myself, we know what it is to leave our families behind because God called us. And it's tough. Sometimes it's a lonely, lonely journey. But God blesses, and He blesses, and He blesses again. And sometimes I just sit and cry because I am overwhelmed with how much God blesses. I am overwhelmed that even when I think it's a dark, lonely day, that He just opens heaven and gives me a treasure that keeps me going till the next day. If we choose to do what's right, God will guide us, God will bless us, and God will keep us. I hope church today that we've been encouraged to serve Him with our whole hearts for our whole lives. Amen.
Amen.